Roman and Jacob target Solo. Solo Sikoa gets warned. Bloodline war escalates. Roman Reigns strikes back. Solo's biggest threat yet. What happens when the tribal chief decides he's had enough? And what if the one standing beside him is a man so dangerous that even his own family isn't completely sure what he'll do next? Those are the questions hanging over WWE right now because something is changing inside the bloodline. Something that feels bigger than a simple family disagreement, bigger than another wrestling rivalry, and maybe even bigger than a championship. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu have sent a message to Solo Sikoa, and if you listen carefully, it doesn't sound like a warning anymore. It sounds like a promise. Before we get into this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments who you think wins if Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu eventually collide with Solo Sikoa. This story has become one of the most unpredictable situations in WWE, and honestly, every week seems to add another layer to the mystery. The wild part is that none of this was supposed to happen. Think about where we were not that long ago. Roman Reigns wasn't just leading the bloodline. He was the bloodline. Every major decision, every victory, every huge moment revolved around him. Whether you loved him or hated him, Roman built an empire unlike anything WWE had seen in years. For a long time, it felt like the entire company existed under the shadow of the tribal chief. But every empire eventually faces a threat. Sometimes that threat comes from enemies. Sometimes it comes from rivals. And sometimes it comes from the people standing closest to the throne. That's where Solo Sikoa enters the story. At first, Solo looked like the perfect enforcer. He was quiet, focused, and brutally effective. He wasn't interested in speeches. He wasn't interested in attention. He let his actions do the talking. If Solo showed up, somebody was probably about to have a very bad evening. That's just how things worked. But then something started changing. The confidence grew. The influence grew. And most importantly, the ambition grew. Slowly but surely, Solo stopped looking like a soldier following orders and started looking like a leader making his own decisions. Fans noticed it. Opponents noticed it. Even members of the bloodline seemed to notice it. The dynamic wasn't the same anymore. There was still respect on the surface, but underneath that respect was something far more dangerous. Tension. The kind of tension you can feel without anyone saying a word. And if you've watched wrestling long enough, you know silence can sometimes be scarier than the loudest promo in the world. A stare can mean more than 10 minutes on a microphone. A simple look can tell an entire story. That's exactly what started happening between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Then Jacob Fatu entered the picture, and suddenly everything became even more complicated. Now let's be honest for a second. Jacob Fatu is one of those rare wrestlers who feels dangerous before he even throws a punch. Some wrestlers talk about being unstoppable. Some wrestlers try to convince you they're monsters. Jacob Fatu just walks into the arena and somehow makes everybody uncomfortable. It's actually kind of impressive. The guy looks like he could start a fight with a thunderstorm and somehow win. The moment Jacob became part of this larger bloodline situation, fans immediately started asking questions. Which side is he really on? What's his endgame? Is he following someone's plan, or is he creating his own? Every appearance created more questions than answers. And honestly, that's part of what makes this entire story so fascinating. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu aren't exactly the most predictable alliance in wrestling. They're both powerful. They're both dominant. They're both capable of completely taking over any situation they enter. Yet somehow, circumstances have pushed them into a position where their goals seem aligned. That's a terrifying development for Solo Sikoa because Roman Reigns brings authority and Jacob Fatu brings chaos. Put those two things together and you have a combination that can change everything. What's truly chilling isn't even the threat itself. It's how calm they seem while delivering it. Roman doesn't need to scream anymore. Jacob doesn't need to make dramatic speeches. Their presence says enough. Their confidence says enough. The message is clear without anyone needing to shout. Solo Sikoa is officially on notice. Now imagine being Solo for a moment. You've spent years proving yourself. You've fought battles. You've earned victories. You've built your own reputation. You've stepped out of the shadows and shown the world that you're more than just another member of the Bloodline. Then Roman Reigns returns, and standing beside him is Jacob Fatu. That's probably the wrestling equivalent of opening your front door and finding two hurricanes waiting outside. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. But here's what makes Solo different. He isn't scared. At least, he doesn't look scared. He's not the kind of competitor who backs down when pressure arrives. If anything, pressure seems to make him even more dangerous. The more obstacles he faces, the harder he fights. That's why this situation feels so unpredictable. Roman and Jacob may believe they're controlling the situation, but what if they're creating something even more dangerous? What if every threat only pushes Solo further? What if every warning makes him stronger? That's where things become really interesting, because maybe this isn't just about revenge. Maybe this isn't just about power. Maybe this isn't even about leadership. Maybe it's about legacy. Think about it. Roman Reigns built his reputation through dominance, confidence, and absolute belief in himself. Those exact same qualities are now visible in Solo Sikoa. The traits that once helped Roman rise to the top are the same traits that now make Solo a threat. There's something almost poetic about that. The student becoming powerful enough to challenge the teacher. The soldier becoming powerful enough to challenge the king. Stories like that rarely end peacefully. They usually explode. And if there's one thing WWE fans know, it's that bloodline conflicts never stay small. Every disagreement becomes bigger. Every betrayal cuts deeper. Every confrontation carries years of history behind it. That's why this latest warning feels so important. It doesn't feel like another chapter. It feels like the beginning of a war. You can almost feel it building with every passing week. The tension keeps growing. The uncertainty keeps growing. The anticipation keeps growing. It's like standing outside while dark storm clouds gather overhead. You know the storm is coming. You know the lightning is coming. The only mystery is where it strikes first. And that's exactly where Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa find themselves right now. Nobody knows what happens next. Will Solo strike first? Will Roman decide enough is enough and unleash the tribal chief once again? Will Jacob Fatu become the deciding factor that changes the future of the bloodline forever? Those questions don't have answers yet, but fans are watching every segment, every stare, every confrontation, trying to find clues. And honestly, that's what makes wrestling stories like this so fun. Nobody knows the ending. Everybody has a theory. Everybody thinks they've figured it out. Then one shocking moment changes everything. If you're still watching, let me know your prediction in the comments. Does Solo Sikoa survive this situation, or do Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu completely take over? I want to hear what you think, because this story could go in 100 different directions. One thing feels certain, though. Roman Reigns looks determined. Jacob Fatu looks unstoppable. And Solo Sikoa looks like a man who refuses to back down from anyone. That combination rarely leads anywhere peaceful. The warning has been delivered. The challenge has been issued. The battle lines have been drawn. Now the WWE Universe waits to see who makes the next move.